These are natural gaps. Wow! And exactly what we're going to learn to clear today. When you think of jumping gaps, you might be thinking of beautifully crafted dirt jumps, doubles at the bike park, or maybe even a road gap at a downhill track. However, if you know where to look, you can find them on normal trails too. Before we dive into the video, why not show it a little bit of love by giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel for more great content. Right, let's get cracking. So what is a natural gap, and why would you want to hit them? Well, a natural gap is essentially anything that's not man-made and using it to jump or double over other obstacles. So that could be rocks, roots, lumps or bumps used to clear anything else. So why would you want to hit them? Finding and hitting natural gaps is also going to help smooth out the trail and build up your speed. It's also going to help build up your confidence, elevating your riding to the next level. Once you start linking them together, you're going to be able to ride the trail a bit smoother, a bit faster, like I said, but it's also going to allow you to go further, faster, better, and with more smiles, of course. Before we get started, we need to, of course, be in control. Now, whilst you hit gaps with a lip or a takeoff that's sculpted there for you to help give you the lift, when you're hitting natural gaps, you're going to use rocks, roots, things like that, like I said, to help generate lift. But for this, we're going to need to know the bunny hop technique. So here's a quick refresh. To bunny hop, compress and preload your bike. Spring up with your upper body and pull up on the bars with your arms. Unweight and lift the rear of the bike with your feet. Level the bike off in the air by tucking your legs up and pushing your arms forwards. Lower the bike down again for a smooth, controlled landing. So there you go. If you're struggling with this technique, though, don't worry, it doesn't matter, but I would recommend perfecting it before you try hitting any gaps out on the trail. And to do so, fear not, because we have got a bunny hop technique linked in the description down below. And hey, whilst you're heading down that way, why not click subscribe as well? Let's start with some basic gaps. Now, we're going to start really small because we're going to ease ourselves into this, but we're going to look on the trail for just a little bump or a little feature that we can use to jump off and clear some other features to kind of do what we said before about gaining some speed and keeping momentum on the trail. And I found just the spot. It might not look like much, but an area like this where you might find yourself sort of before you'd just be plowing through it and it might be a bit sketchy slipping on the roots. You start hitting it with a bit of speed and you feel that kind of floaty feeling. Well, now we're going to add the hop into it. And we're going to do that right here. We've got some roots here which I can use to jump off of, do that little bunny hop that we spoke about earlier. And we can clear this kind of mess of roots in the middle. That way we eliminate the chance of slipping or sliding. We carry a bit of speed because we can aim for a nice little downslope on the other side, and it actually widens the turn afterwards. So it kind of all links together really nicely. And it's only about a 2 to 3 foot bunny hop, but it just helps carry momentum on the trail. Right, so what are we going to do? Well, coming into the section, we're going to have had a little look at it beforehand, but we're going to carry a good bit of speed. We're going to spot our takeoff here and where we want to aim for our front wheel to sort of bump off of, and it's here on this little cluster of roots. At this point, we're going to be spotting our takeoff. We're going to compress into it and initiate that bunny hop feature. And then once we do that, we're then going to start to pull up. We'll be airborne, at which point we'll be spotting our landing. Looking at where we want to be. Remember, you're going to be in a slight attack position, ready to then absorb the landing, spot where you want to be heading off to, and ride off, hopefully into the sunset. And here's how it should look. Gaps aren't always about going big and getting huge air. No, sometimes the more technical ones can be all about carrying speed or opening up the turns. And I've got the perfect example here to run through with you. Ticking off these kind of janky, horrible text type gaps are actually really useful to have in your gap arsenal, if you like, because they allow you to clear these horrible, rocky, rooty, bike unsettling type sections. I got the perfect example here. So it's this big long rider's right-hander, which you want to kind of keep your speed for. You want to go out wide, but look, there's this horribleness in the way. You can obviously go inside of it. That's going to allow you to just go around nice and smooth and easy. But if you want to carry speed and you want to set yourself up into the nice section afterwards, you need to come out here into the downslope below. Now, there's a few things that make this quite technical. One, we're turning. 2, we've got a very narrow area that we're going to take off, so that precision I said about is absolutely crucial. We've got a tree we don't want to clip our bars on, and we have got about a 6 or 7 foot gap that we want to clear over. Plus, we then need to be sort of on our A game to be spotting where we're going ahead. This is how it should look like. As I hit the little kicker that I've decided to make up on this gap, my eyes then shift to where the landing is, all the while knowing exactly what I need to do with my bike. I start to pull up, shift my gaze forwards, and obviously knowing exactly how much speed I've got from eyeing up this section before, place my wheels exactly where they need to be, ready for landing. Having cleared the gap, I've improved this section by opening up the turn more, allowing me to skip the bumps that would normally be in the turn or having to ride a longer route around, carrying more speed and giving me a better line into the next section. Right, we've come to a different piece of trail now where we're going to be talking about bigger gaps, and this is a prime example. Now, hitting a bigger gap is the same kind of thought process and principles as the smaller one. It just requires a couple of extra things, extra speed generally, and extra commitment. Now, I've come to the Forest of Dean, like I said, where I've got this is a beauty of an example. Now, when the trail builders built this, I don't think they expect you to gap from this roller here, which as the name suggests should be rolled, into this lower slope down here. Yep, that's right, we're going to gap from there to there. And there's a few things I'm going to have to do differently as well. I'm going to have to look at how much speed I carry in, therefore I'm going to need to do some pumping, some rolling, spotting my line choice, and hopefully go from there further on down. The key to big gaps like this are commitment and speed. You really have to work the trail beforehand, carrying as much speed as you can, pedaling where you can, and pumping the rollers. A gap like this is going to feel very different to the smaller ones because of the amount of commitment needed and the additional airtime, so prepare yourself for that. Precision on a gap like this, you might argue, is less key. However, spotting your landing is crucial. You really want to carry as much speed, spot your landing in the air so you can nose into it to really get the smoothest landing possible. So there we have it, natural gaps, a great way to spice up your ride next time you go out for a spin. Don't forget, start small, work your way up, and always have fun and be safe when doing it. Let us know how you get on in the comments down below. Don't forget, a like and a subscribe go a long way to supporting the channel. But from me, from the woods, I'll see you later.